Hi everyone. Today we will be working with fetching API. So the most important tool we all developers or the beginner developers have learned is Axios. So today I'll be working with Axios. Okay, so I have one. So okay, first of all, I'll show you what I'm gonna trying to make. So this is a basic setup. I know from developers' point of view, it's very basic. So here you can just enter the code of any country, like rupees, for example, for India, I can enter the NR. So our task is to check it and to display its price as compared to the US dollars. We will do this by calling an API, and I have the link for the API. We can just hit on and we can work on it. So our first task is to let's check what we have in this API. So just go on the Chrome and tap the API, and we can see all these gibberish tags. So the best thing we can do before trying to call an API is to study that API. For example, we can use JSON formatter here. We have many online JSON formatters, but we can use this one. For example, we can just copy this text. It's a short API, so probably you can do it by copying the text. Let me copy it. We can just click on the format beautify. Now you can see an objects where we have the different, like for example, you can see the rates, and under rates we have USD, AED. So we know from here, like our data will be coming from this side. So now let's get back to our code as we can study our API. You have many different things as well. You can call them by using the API, but today what I'm trying to do will be calling these APIs. So let's get back on our code. Okay, here it is. So we have this link here. Now what we need to do is, okay, let me first close. It's running the server, and the main thing we have to do is first we'll just import the Axios. So npm install Axios, and it will take some time. Here it go. We have the Axios here. Mm, mm. Now it's good. Now let's do one thing, and I'll just make you go through towards the code. So for example, we have two use states here. One is code and one is result. We are keeping it very basic right now. I've also used the Tailwind CSS. I know it doesn't look like that, but yeah, we have some class names here. And what we are trying to do, we are taking an input from the user who is trying to put an code here, and like we can just check it. So for that we are using a use for example for that we are using a use state here, and also for the result we are using a use state. So my input is very simple. I'm just taking the value and just using an event handler and converting it to uppercase. For example, a user try to put it in, like for example someone goes here and try to put it in small, but it will always be converted to the uppercase. So this is the main task here, and now we'll just directly move on how to fetch our API. So for that we can just call and we can create a function. For example, fetch currency, and and make sure it will be an async function, as it would be putting the request on the API. So we don't know at what time we will be getting our API request, so it's better to get it the async function. Then we can write it in our try block, and also we can write our catch block here. I usually prefer to write the catch block at first. So what we can do, we can just set error here. We can put any message error in fetching API. It's not the best practice. We should, the brackets are not correct. It's not the best practice. We should write a descriptive error, but for now, for the learning purpose, it's okay for now. And we can just put the console dot and we can give error here. Okay, that's good for now. And in the try block, we can write our code. So for example, we declare a constant that is response that will hold our coming data from the API, and we will be using axios.get. We have to use await. We have used the async here, so .get, and in this we can put our URL. So this is our URL from where we'll be getting all our requests. Yep. And after that, we can just put our another function. We can just put our another constant. For example, what rates we received, and this is the data we are receiving from the rates, and it will be from response dot data dot rates and rate. And okay, so this rate is coming from our API that we have fetched. For example, we can see from here, just a sec. Yeah, for example, we can see we have the rates here. So all our data is stored in this object, so we'll be fetching the data from this. Let's get back to our code, and we are fetching the data from the rates, and we are thinking probably our data is stored in our rates. Now we can write our if loop to match what the user have given. We are storing that in code, so we can just make the if block here and write our condition. We can write if the code that is given by user is in rates, then we have used the use state here. So in set result, right? Yeah, in the set result we can store the rates which we are working on and from the code. So basically what we did here, we are storing in the set result the rates that we have in the API, and also giving it the code to match it that user has given it. So it will directly update this state, and we can get or fetch the result from this result onto our screen. So this is it. And also we can just add an else here to complete our else. else. In that, we can just set result as null for now. I think null would be good for now. And yeah, that's it. So and in the button, yeah, we have called this function. Let's check it on our page. We are getting some error. Is not defined in the app. It's saying it the function is not defined in the app. Oops. We can just put it big C. Probably it should work now. Let's fetch it. I can just test it by putting INR. When we click on check, yeah, it's showing the price of rupees as compared to dollar. We can just also put AED. So yeah, we can just check the price of AED as well. Yeah, it's giving us the correct inputs. So from this we can conclude we have used the Axios. So I can summarize this whole step. We just installed the Axios, we have imported it, and we have used it here in the fetch currency function. It is an async function, and we have used it by using the await, and we put the get request on the URL. Then we have checked and beautified our API and checked what object does it have. Then we worked accordingly, and this is how we fetch an API and take the data that we require in order to work along with